Hello, and welcome to my new Let's Play of Democracy 3. I don't think this is going to be a very long series, or one that I will be uploading to something awful. I do actually have a more in-depth Let's Play plan that I will be starting up on something awful, but this is something I just thought I would do in the meantime while I'm getting ready for that. So this is a rather old game. It was released, I believe, in 2013, and I think many people started up, had some fun with it, and then basically put it back down because it doesn't have a huge amount of depth to it. Despite being moddable, it's still a rather basic game. And for those of you who haven't played it, I hope you'll enjoy watching this. And for those of you who have, maybe you can leave some comments about, what I'm doing wrong or how I can succeed in my more difficult runs. This game, I would say, is heavily biased towards the socialist end of the spectrum. It basically, the mechanics of the game can encourage you to play socialist. But this isn't to say that you can't take a more capitalist route. It's just far more difficult. So, I'm not saying that as like, oh, this game is biased, blah, blah, blah. Like, no, it's not about that. I'm just saying that's the difficulty slider, basically. If you want to play easy mode, you go socialist. If you want to play hard mode, you go capitalist. And we'll talk a little bit more about why that's the case as we get into the game. Personally, my political sympathies are far more on the socialist side, so I'm not angry that the game is besmirching the good name of capitalism. It's just that from a balance perspective, there are obviously issues with the game. And we're going to kind of take advantage of that to ramp up the difficulty as we go through it. So because of that, we will be starting on the socialist side of the game. Now, if you followed my other Let's Plays, my Final Fantasy Tactics Rebirth Let's Play or my Front Mission 5 Let's Play, you probably are aware that I tend to play games that have been modified by the community, and this game is really no exception. I am going to be playing with some mods, so we'll take a look at what mods I have active here. So I have the Socialist Reform mod. It was quote-unquote in progress, but it has been abandoned by the authors. It is compatible with the Extremism and Social Engineering expansions, and we will be using both of these expansions. And essentially this adds some better options for playing a more communist game, and more statist socialism, or you could say a pure socialism, or whatever you want to say about it. We are going to be going for a quote-unquote communist run. I know some people might take issue with the characterization of communism in this game, but essentially what that means in game terms is that we are going to try to nationalize the entire economy and get all of the people, all of the pops, to be state employees. So we will completely abolish the capitalist sector of the economy and achieve, what Marx referred to as the dictatorship of the proletariat. Not saying that we're going to be running around shooting people all the time. It just means that basically the working class, the socialists, are going to be by far the predominant political force in our society, as opposed to our current society, which is what you could call maybe the dictatorship of the capitalist class, where if you want to make some political reforms, the first thing that's always on people's mind is, well, what is the investment community going to say about it? And the investment community, of course, is a shorthand for the capitalist class. So you could think about it, the kind of situation we're creating where it's going to be the opposite. It's like, well, what are the socialists going to say? So that's our goal, right? We're going to try to nationalize the entire economy. But you know, I'm not so biased as to say that we can't have some capitalist action in this game. So you know, recognizing the obvious bias of this game, you know, some libertarians went ahead and created the ultimate capitalist rebalance mod, which subtly rebalances the game to be more realistically favorable to a free enterprise system. And I'm totally okay with that, right? Like, I think this is a very reasonable balance addition to the game. And our second run through the game, I will be trying to take a pro-capitalist slant. I will be trying to, you know, basically crush socialism. Not in a overly forceful way, but, you know, through attrition, we're going to wear down the socialists until they're no longer a real factor, and capitalism is the dominant, you know, political ideology, I guess you could say, in our society, as well as the dominant mode of production, of course. So we will be making use of this capitalist rebalance mod when we do that, just to make the game a little bit more playable, so that we don't get voted out or assassinated right off the bat. Alright, then we have the social engineering expansion. You know, this just adds a few nice little options to the game, and then the extremism expansion, which we'll be using to, you know, do things like ban private education, basically go for full communism, which is, of course, the goal of our first run. Alright, so we'll go ahead and get started here. So the country that we're going to play, last time I played this, just as a warm-up, I did Canada, and I created Communist Canada. It was a wonderful socialist paradise. And I think this time we are going to try to create the Communist United States, and we will see how that goes. It's certainly going to be more challenging. You know, we're going to start out in a very different situation than Canada does. Obviously, Canada is in a better fiscal situation. Canada does not have as large of a military. Canada is somewhat more socialistic in its political organization. So those are all favorable points for a socialist run. But I have faith that we can turn United States into a communist paradise. So let's see how this goes. So our party name, we will call ourselves, I don't know, the Socialist Alternative. That is a minor socialist party in the United States, if I'm not mistaken. I think they have like one elected council member in Seattle. And our opposition party, I don't know, let's go with the Republicans. They hate communism. Let's crush them utterly. So, relatively high political apathy, innate socialism and liberalism. Liberalism is a stand-in, well, no, that's not quite true. Liberalism isn't exactly equivalent to support for capitalism, as we will see. But, you know, 100% socialism, 100% liberalism. I don't know exactly how this works out, like, if this is 100% of what is considered to be normal for the United States, or if it's actually like a balanced, you know, metric in whatever society you play. But I will just go with the defaults. Of course, the United States has no monarchy. This is a very minor game feature that has no real impact on the game. Compulsory voting would be something for like Australia. We don't have that. Two-term limit. This is interesting. I've only ever played the United States as a pro-capitalist party, and I've either ended up getting assassinated or voted out. It's too early for this to really come into effect. So I don't quite know what this is going to imply, whether it means we're just going to get a very short game, or what. If that is the case, we may actually fail to establish full communism before our term limits are up, so we'll have to see about that. You know, if this was realistic, or I guess, you know, if it was a more open model, we could do the FDR thing and try to abolish the term limits, but that is not really a possibility here. So term length is, of course, 4 years in the United States, very, very regular, unlike in, say, Canada, where I'm from, where it's somewhat arbitrary. So if we look at our metrics here, we are in pretty bad shape. We have very high crime, very poor health, despite having the highest health expenditures in the world, of course. GDP is not very good. Now, of course, the United States is the largest economy in the world, right? So this is a rather subjective evaluation of what GDP means, but I think it's supposed to mean kind of like, how is your growth rate going? This is defined as the total market value of all goods and services produced within the nation in a year. So yeah, you can see that the value over time is really the important thing here, as it should be, of course. I mean, who cares what your GDP is in absolute terms if you are a party in government? Like, it's not like, you know, the economy goes into a 4% recession and then everybody says, well, yeah, but the GDP is, like, you know, way higher than Sierra Leone, so who cares, right? Of course, it's if you're doing poorly, the GDP is falling. Then our unemployment is moderate, and our poverty is moderate, and our education is very good, as it should be, because the United States has an incredibly unequal but very, very high quality education system for those who can afford it. The best in the world, without a doubt. Alright, so here we are in the main screen of the game. Oh dear. Interesting. So I am playing this on Linux, and you can see that there are some issues here. These icons are not appearing properly. But it shouldn't matter. I think we should be fine without those icons. Okay, so this is a summary of our society here. You can see that this is our support from each of our demographics here. And some people can... wait, how does this work again? Is it liberals? Focus group. Yeah, right. So, you can see here that each pop will have influences from different kinds of concerns. So this person is somewhat influenced by capitalist thought, moderately influenced by liberal thought, highly influenced by middle income, by farmers, somewhat influenced by ethnic minorities. Okay? So you can see that even though you have these breakdowns, they don't necessarily correspond to discrete population groups. They are influences that apply to in complex ways to each pop. So for example, you know, somebody can be a patriot and a motorist. You know, that's conceivable, right? Very conceivable. Right, so of course, because we are playing as a socialist party, our primary targets to improve relations with will be the socialists, the trade unionists, the state employees, of course, and then we will try to grab some other groups as well. We are not interested in motorists because we are going to go for a heavily state-led public transport approach, so as to reduce pollution and improve efficiency. And so the motorists are not going to be a supporting group for us. The wealthy, of course, are our enemies, without a question. The capitalists are our enemies, without a question. The middle income, that is like basically small business owners. Or no, sorry, this is small business owners, the self-employed. Middle income is just the middle class. The self-employed will probably also be our enemies, although they are kind of a swing, and we can, in certain strategic situations, get them on our side, which we will take advantage of. So this is like the petty bourgeois, right? And this would be like the big bourgeois if you're talking about, you know, traditional Marxist sociology. And then parents, they could be supporters for us because we can provide them with social services. Conservatives, we can get on side in some cases because we are going to fund a fairly robust policing system. So they will not necessarily be our worst enemies, these social conservatives. Ethnic minorities will be a ally for us, but we are going to probably try to focus on social services first and then work on eliminating ethnic tension. But we'll have to see how that plays out because the dynamics of the United States are different than those of Canada, so I might need to pursue a somewhat different strategy in order to win. Farmers can probably be a solid basis for support for us, which may seem surprising to anyone who is familiar with the actual way that farmers vote. At least in Canada, you know, in the past they were usually socialists, but now they are probably one of the most conservative demographics in the country. But yeah, we can actually get them on side through the use of rural development grants, which we will take advantage of to increase our support. The youth will probably be supporters for us for the most part. The poor, of course, are like, you know, very, very solid support for us. We are going to do wonders for the poor, especially the American poor. They are going to see massive, massive income gains under our government. Whereas the middle class will only benefit modestly, and the wealthy will see themselves disappear for the most part. Is that it? Liberals will probably be our friends for the most part, even though they hate us right now. And the religious groups will be our enemies, of course. But we are... we'll probably take a sort of slow burn approach to overcoming religious opposition. And commuters will be our allies. Alright, so I think that covers most of the demographics. Oh, the retired people will probably be our allies as well. There's some things we will do, like imposing a very high inheritance tax that will probably piss them off, but we are also going to provide very, very generous pensions for them and eliminate crime, so they will and provide very good health care. So they will probably like us for that. So they will be a kind of more favorable than less favorable thing. The property tax and inheritance tax are things that we will implement late in the game once we have secured a very solid support base and have already eliminated most of the demographics that would vote strongly against these measures by attritioning them into other demographics by basically undermining the class divisions in the society, and then finally using these measures to get the maximum equality possible. So that is the kind of the big look at all the demographics. We got to decide what to do first. So every turn you have a certain amount of political capital. Right now we are at plus 23. And you get to spend that in order to promote policies, or to adjust policies, or to remove policies. And that is the main way that you interact with the game. You can also fire cabinet ministers, or hire new ones. And that is a kind of minor game dynamic. But really the majority of what you're doing here is dealing with policies. And some people have said this game is essentially a big spreadsheet, and that is not incorrect. But it's a lot more fun than, you know, just tooling around with Excel, because you have all these images and flavor stuff in the simulation to make it more fun. All right, so obviously, given the state of the U.S., we have a uphill battle. We have an enormous debt. We have a deficit that is, given the size of our income, it is manageable. But if we don't do something about it soon, we are going to be in trouble. If you go, I think, like 4 turns without like seriously dealing with the deficit, you are probably going to run into a bad situation with your debt, and that will turn a lot of population groups against you. So you really need to worry about that. Okay, so we have a crime situation. You know, we have vigilante mobs, maybe some. I don't know what groups this would be, maybe KKK or something. We have an alcohol abuse problem. We have an internet crime problem. We have a antisocial behavior problem. So, you know, maybe youth delinquency or something like that. We have a drug addiction problem. I believe, what is it? Heroin is really big in the United States right now. And then asthma epidemic because of bad environmental situation. This is mainly due to car usage, so we will have to deal with that. We have a skills shortage because of the, you know, massively unequal education system. We have a pollution problem. And we have a uncompetitive economy, but you know that is mainly due to our education and our health problems. And then finally, we have a homelessness problem. Okay, so yeah, it's a pretty bad state of affairs, and we're gonna have to do something about it. So the first thing we're going to do is raise the income tax. Oh no, wait, we can't do that. We need 30 political capital to do it, and we can't do it quite yet. So instead, what shall I do here? Okay, we are going to cancel school vouchers. We don't want private schools. Or actually, no, we won't do this first. What we will do is maximize science funding. I don't think this is really accurate. Well, yeah, I don't know. I mean, the United States spends a lot of money on science funding, so this is maybe a little bit unfair to the United States. But anyway, we're going to max this out because this does wonders for our productivity. So yeah, it's only $96 billion. Whatever. Creationism versus evolution, we don't want to touch that quite yet. State schools. We are going to provide massive funding to state schools, and that will be the prelude for us eliminating private schools. Or especially subsidies for private schools, and then subsequently private schools. So yeah, we're going to provide $235 billion support to our state schools. This is going to have a very significant negative effect on poverty and unemployment. It will improve our support from the poor, the socialists, and it will improve our education enormously, and improve our support with the state employees. All right, so let's do that. Oh no, wait, we can't do that. What? Why can't we do that? What did I do? Oh yeah, I did the science funding. Okay, so I can't do that this turn. But I can do some other things. Okay, what about policing? We want to increase policing. Not armed police, but... Oh, actually, you know what we want to do here? Is we want to implement a new policy. This is where you can see all of the new things we can do. So we want law and order, and we want to implement community policing. So we are going to go for maximum community policing. This will have a significant effect on antisocial behavior and alcohol abuse and increase our support with liberals, which is nice because they are going to be a supportive demographic for us. Right. So you're going to increase community policing. We can't really do taxation stuff right yet, although we will certainly get to that, because otherwise we are going to end up in big trouble financially, because we are spending. But that's just fine, because when we nationalize the economy, well, we're going to be the economy, so if we spend a lot, that's just a good thing, right? So we are going to increase our technology grants as well. Just keep pumping up that productivity. And what else do we have here? Unemployed benefits. Maximize. Oh, can't do it. Too much. 14, okay. Food stamps. We will get rid of food stamps soon enough, but we have to keep it around for the moment. State pensions. We can increase the state pensions. Okay, great. Big support for the retired, yeah. And it's further going to decrease poverty, decrease support from capitalists, screw them, who cares, and just destroy private pensions. That is fantastic. We do not need that kind of parasitical thing in our communist society. Alright. Okay, so we got the quarterly report. GDP is still falling. Poverty is dropping like a rock. Very good. Unemployment, unaffected. So we still have a lot of work to do. Education, excellent. Very good, very good. Okay, so first thing we're going to do now. We have bumped up our state funding. We still do not have enough to do an income tax raise, so we are going to actually just do something minor and then get it the next turn, because it's very, very important that we do so. Let's see, what should we do here? I would like to reduce our military spending, but that is not easily done. Small business grants, eh? Sounds pretty good to me. So the trade unionists don't like it, socialists don't like it, but, you know, whatever. It's going to bump up our GDP a bit, increase our support with the self-employed. It's okay. And we'll end the turn. Okay, unemployment falling. Good. GDP still not so great, right? Global economy is doing well, but our GDP is not. Okay, so 42. Now we can increase the income tax. Excellent. So let's see, what is our deficit? $421 billion deficit. So we need to increase our income to roughly, okay. Yeah, let's go with a 50, maybe 45% income tax. Sounds okay. We might increase that more later, but for the moment, that is okay. So that will do wonders for our deficit. So what does that mean? Well, it means we're going to spend more money, of course. But first of all, no more school vouchers. Oh, it's 7, 9. Why can't I do this? I want to cancel this policy. Why can't I do that? What's going on? Why can't I cancel this policy? Oh, 14 to cancel. Okay, gotcha. I can lower it, but I want to cancel it. I don't want any of that. Alright, what about private prisons? Can we get rid of those? We can get rid of those. Can we improve the prison system? Where is it? Here? Yes. Okay, we are going to, boom, extensive rehabilitation. Excellent. Then, no more private prisons. Goodbye. No thanks, not in my country. Okay. So limit agency activity or allow agencies to operate. We will limit agency activity because this is popular with socialists and the poor and so on, and that is our demographic. Those are our people. Alright, GDP falling, crime falling. Of course the GDP is falling. You know, we just implemented an enormous income tax. So socialist support is on the rise, poor support on the rise, middle income dropping like a rock, that income tax that you do not like, capitalist dropping like a rock. Okay, that's fine. So we got the public prisons up to snuff. Our crime rate is falling. We're not going to worry about that for the moment. What we really need to deal with is the economy. So let's see what we can do here. We're going to implement a new policy. The economy. Let's see what we have here. We want to implement... I think... Investor tax breaks, National Trade Council. So we want to implement a trade council. Increase our international trade, why not? Very good. We are going to... We are going to implement clean energy subsidies. We are going to... We need to get into this stuff soon, but I want to do some more direct economic intervention first. Young entrepreneur scheme is not bad. Business startup campaign. We don't want to implement tax breaks. Recycling is good. Consumer rights are good. Okay, let's do this one. Get some support from them. Alright, we need to do some more things. Okay, let us invest more. Oh wait, we can't do that yet. Okay, we will invest more in the space program soon though. Pollution controls, that's fine, but... Did we do this one? We did this one. Okay. Did science. Did... Technology colleges are okay. The socialists don't like them, but they are okay for the moment. Don't want more taxes at the moment. Really, there's no more interventions I can take. There must be something I'm missing here. Diplomatic service would be nice, but I think there's more we can do. Do not want a national business council. Ah! Okay. So let us go... No, we don't want that. Drugs. Public libraries, that could be good. Healthcare vouchers, no. Is it time to get into the bus subsidies and stuff? Our education system is already very good, so I don't think we need to invest too much in it. Adult education subsidies. Yeah, that's very good. We want that. Absolutely. Okay. That's good. What else can we do here? Foreign aid, don't care about that at the moment. Citizenship tests, not important. Did unemployed benefit. Oh! Okay, we don't have enough for this, but we're definitely going to do this next turn. Get that unemployment benefit up there. That is going to do more for the economy. Okay. There must be something minor we can do here with this amount. Although getting rid of programs, even I can't afford that one. Okay, we'll just bank this amount of capital. Okay, unemployment's on the rise because GDP is in a bad state. Crime is continuing to fall. Poverty is very low. So we'll look at the unemployment causes. Unemployment is... impulse, no. Financial data, charts. No, we don't want that. Security briefing, opinion polls, implement new policies. There's another one. Achievements, no. Cabinet ministers, no. Options, no. Oh, okay, here we go. Changes. Where's our unemployment? This is an issue. Okay, well, we can do some things to make this work. Okay, so first of all, right, what was it we were going to do here? We were going to deal with unemployment benefits, yeah. Okay. Now, rail subsidies, max them out. We'll go with the liberal. Crime continuing to fall. Health is not in a good state still. We need to implement the public health system. Okay, so what is this? State health service. Boom. Do it. More. Now. And we don't have any left. GDP is on the rise, crime is falling, homelessness is out, antisocial behavior is at an end. Our indicators are becoming positive. I want to see this health go up next round too. Interestingly, we don't have an obesity problem. We usually do have an obesity problem. It's interesting. Okay. So... Police force. let us max out the police force as well. They will like that one, I'm sure. And we will increase the corporate tax maybe a bit here. It doesn't give you very good yields though, but it only really pisses off the wealthy. So let's raise this up to like 30%. Effect on GDP is not that big. Yeah, we'll just go 30% there. Oh wait, we can't do that quite yet, but next turn we'll do that. We need more money. Okay, we got 18 points. I'm sure we can do something useful. Let us get rid of school vouchers. I don't want that. Goodbye. Okay, we only got 4 points. I think we'll bank those and we will continue. GDP rebounding, uncompetitive economy is done, vigilante mobs are done, so health is our major problem still. Okay, so we've got, it's falling though. The drug addiction problem is falling because of the influence of our state health service. And the police force, you know, being funded properly, that's a big thing too. Narcotics. Ooh. Okay, well, we're going to deal with narcotics legalization in a little bit here. Alright. Well, next thing we want to do, probably, is increase corporate tax. So we can't do that yet. We need to wait another turn if we want to do that. We got rid of the private prisons. Adult education subsidies is fine. Crime stuff is being dealt with. We need to deal with health. Increasing the Food Standards Agency costs almost nothing. Improves our health. Let's do it. Okay, health. Public services. We don't want healthcare vouchers. Compulsory food labeling, that doesn't really matter. School sports, that could be positive. Healthy eating campaign. Free school meals, that could definitely help. Actually, you know what's really... Oh no, those aren't really that popular, huh? Okay, so let's, you know, most people like this. Poverty falls. Health goes up. Do it. And next turn we will raise the corporate tax to get our deficit back down. Alright, children's food. Regulate children's food. Obesity is a major problem, so let's do that. We are statists, we are going to do that. Okay, unemployment, falling. Crime, falling. Poverty, almost non-existent, but we're going to make it even lower. Health is on the rise. Excellent. Full speed ahead towards our glorious communist future, comrades. Alright, so parents are on the rise, but our deficit is down quite a bit already. Would like to get into a surplus. Do we want to spend that much political capital to raise our corporate tax right now? I think as long as we can continue to create a virtuous cycle in, the multiplication of our economic growth through state subsidization, I don't think we need to raise the taxes that much at the moment. Okay. Legal aid. That would be a good thing to raise. Let's max that out. Abortion laws. We won't touch that quite yet. Once we're in a more stable position, we will go after the religious right and dismantle most of their bulwarks. But right now, we don't want to aggravate them. So let's get some better stuff in here. Let's get the free parenting classes. Increase our opinion with parents. Diplomatic service. Increase our foreign relations. Oops. And let us do cycling camping. How popular is that? That's not popular. Carpooling, fuel efficiency standards. Telecommuting initiative. That's very good. Let's do that. Okay. Reduce commuter membership. That's very good. We want to do this. We want to reduce the commuter membership as much as possible, so that when we start implementing really harsh carbon taxes and stuff, they don't get angry because there's not very many of them left. We want to gradually eliminate the commuter group. Labor laws we're going to leave alone for the moment. Subsidized school buses. We don't really need to raise that. Road building, we're not interested in that. Biofuels, we don't like that. Oh, you know what we could... No, we can't get rid of that quite yet. Gated communities. So we can do something minor. Maxed out police force, maxed out prisons. What about our intelligence agency? Where is that? Oh no, this is the intelligence services. How much? Raising it only costs 7, so let's do that. We will reduce crime further by raising our intelligence services. Not popular with liberals, but whatever, they love us. Or they're going to love us, at least. Alright, freedom of interact... Okay, like right here. Yeah, freedom of information, let's do it. Okay, crime-free utopia. We have unlocked our first wonderful achievement here, so look at that. Crime-free America. Wouldn't that be nice? Alright, so next thing we're going to do is... let's look here. We've got good with commuters, good with parents. Liberals are still not liking us that much, so can we do something to make liberals like us more? They like law and order stuff. Not that kind of stuff. You know what they do like is art subsidies. Could introduce some art subsidies to make liberals happy. Maybe we will do that. Then we will seriously start ramping up our welfare system in the near future. Alright, so where are we here? Art subsidies. Let's implement that. Liberals love it. It's good for foreign relations, good for tourism, good for education. And our deficit's still manageable. You know, we want it to be lower, but we're gonna get there. And I think we'll bank the rest, and then maybe increase our space program next round. Health is improving dramatically. Crime is continuing to fall. Unemployment continuing to fall. GDP is stagnant. The global economy is in a recession, so it will rise again once the recession is over. Okay, so we have 20. Yes. We got the liberal. What's going on with the liberals here? What are they not liking? They don't like our armed police. They don't like our intelligence services. They don't like our prisoner tagging. Prisoner tagging we could maybe get rid of. What is the benefit? It has a modest decrease on these, but our crime is so low anyway. Might be able to get rid of that and increase our popularity of liberals. Okay, let's cancel that. We don't need that anymore. You can see here we are supporting an enormous army. $200 billion spending in the military. I would like to reduce that, but I don't want to do it until the next election, maybe. I'd like to get rid of food stamps, but we're going to need a more generous system aside from that. How many points do I have? 6. Increasing that requires 8. Death penalty. Eliminating death penalty requires an enormous amount of political capital. That would be a late thing we do. All laws. It's expensive as well. Maybe we need to introduce a new policy here. Tourism ad campaign. Rent controls, we don't want that. Because we are going to implement full public housing. Healthy eating campaign. Could be good as well. Let's do this one. Health. Everybody likes health. Alright, DNA database. Do this, liberals like it. Prevent database. Okay, GDP booming. Boom. Skill shortage is an end. Drug addiction at an end. Health way up. We are kicking ass. Right. So I might want to mention why I got interested in doing this Let's Play in the first place. It's actually because I was looking at the previews for Stellaris and talking to my friend about, you know, how Paradox games essentially can encourage you to be as evil as you possibly can be and still get away with it. Right? Like, whether it's your aggressive expansion in Europa Universalis 4, or whether it is your infamy in Victoria 2, or whatever. Like, just the idea of, like, fabricating casus belli all the time, you know, as a means of advancing the expansion of your state and achieving world conquest. It's a game that encourages you to be a megalomaniac and a psychopath, essentially. At least your ruler, right? And I was thinking, you know, talking to my friend, being like, well, you know, are there any strategy games that encourage you to actually, like, do things like improve people's well-being, or encourage peace and harmony, or learning, or I mean, Paradox games usually encourage learning as well, as a means of furthering your war effort. but you know, just more like peaceful, growing kind of games. And I was saying, like, you know, Civilization is kind of like borderline in that regard. They kind of like that idea, but it's really a war conquest game to a large extent. But, you know, if you want to see the exact opposite side of the spectrum, of course you have city builders like City Skylines. But this game, I would say, is another example of that. Like, really, you're just trying to improve human development in this game. And it has no war conquest mechanic at all, except for building a big military. The military doesn't actually do anything. It just sits there and affects the other modifiers. So yeah, I was like, you know, like, I'm gonna go take another look at Democracy, because as much as I love Paradox games, you know, I'm not saying they're bad games, I'm just saying, like, they're completely amoral. It's kind of fun to play something different, and this is one of those different games that you can play. Alright, so let's get back to this. We are going to dump some more money into the space program. It is great because it increases our support with patriots, but also state employees, and increases our technology and our tech advantage. We want all of these things, so let's do it. Boom. Housing, we'll keep the planning restrictions. Alright, so we have achieved high productivity. You know, we are in a deep recession, so our GP is dropping. We have a message from one of our ministers. She doesn't like us. She's a ethnic minority and capitalist supporter. So we will be dumping her. So look at our advisors here. You can see this is how many political capital they contribute. So our economic advisor, our tax advisor, and our law and order advisors are all subpar, not performing for us because they have low loyalty. Very high experience and effectiveness, but this guy's motorist sympathies aren't working for us. Ethnic minority and capitalist sympathies not there, and then motorists. So I think the motorists are not are causing problems for us. Alright, so we are going to dump you. We are going to hire somebody. So this is what which portfolio are we talking about? Economy. So economy. We look for somebody who wants to be an economy person. Patriot and retired. These are solid demographics for us, so we definitely want you and Sanchez to be our new economy minister. Let's hire you. This will be a solid option for us in the future, but right now the trade unionists don't like us that much. We haven't quite gotten to that side of our program yet. Tax. So we need to show potential ministers. Who is interested in tax? Tax is usually a hard one to fill for the socialists. Liberals and U's. Liberals don't quite like us that much, I guess. You're gonna have to work on that. Gee, tax is a hard portfolio. Youth and state employees. Okay, that works. We'll get you, Tina Diaz. Tax, fire you. Tina Diaz. Oops. I hate this interface, really. It's not good. So you will be our new chancellor. Chancellor? This is not very American. Transport minister. You are ineffective. Why? Good effectiveness. Farmers and conservatives. Okay, well, we can do something about that. Public services. We want to do rural development grants. Although we could start with organic farming subsidies. Where are the rural development grants? Well, welfare, tax. Or are those already in place? Let's take a look here. For laws, pollution controls. I don't think so. We are actually running a surplus now, so things are looking pretty good. But we do need to deal with this issue of farmers not liking us much. And we can increase our support with youth as well. So we will do this one, youth club subsidies. That will increase our support with youth. And the farmers. Food tax. Investments. I really wish there was like a way you could just text search this stuff. Oh, there it is. Under economy, rural development grants requires how many? 27 political capital. So that's something we'll have to do in the future, but for now, we spent that capital. So what we will do is implement the Youth Politics Council to increase our support with youth some more. Okay, unemployment is rising, unfortunately. Crime is also rising. But it's probably due to the recession, I would imagine. Okay, economy. Don't have enough for the rural development grants yet. Is there something we can do to make liberals like us more? What are you angry about? Armed police, intelligence services, military spending. Oh, and we fired their supporter. Whatever. No, we don't want to get rid of any of that. We want all those things. So I'm sorry, liberals, but you're just going to have to deal with it. Trade unionists really don't like us much. So you know what we're going to do? Oh, I see. Our labor laws are terrible. So what we are going to do... Capitalists hate us, but the capitalists see the thing that really biases this game more than anything, I would say, is just that the capitalists don't tend to kill you very often, which is, you know, grossly misrepresentative of reality, I would say. So worker popularity, or workers' pride campaign we might implement, but really we need to just save up some points, and then we will go and implement some other things. Oh, so we had somebody dump our party. Law and Order Minister. Fortunately, our minister left. So we'll hire somebody. Law and Order. Motorist retired, definitely don't want that. That could work. State employees are a solid support base for us. It's got good loyalty. Okay, we'll hire you, Eugene Garcia. Okay, so what we wanted to do is implement those rural grants. economy. Oh, right, because I had to hire somebody. Okay. Good. Indicators are on the rise. And we have 34 now, so this should work. Yes. No. Ugh. Here we go. Economy. There we go. Rural development. Do it. So increase equality, increase support of farmers enormously, and poor earnings, and GDP. Okay, that's good. Yeah, and then we're going to start really getting into our socialist program, I think, pretty soon here. Okay, we are going to reject religious symbols. Yeah, we'll introduce the ban. Screw them. Okay. Okay, we eradicated poverty. Very good. I remember when politicians used to talk about that as a thing that could be done. Not anymore. So let's go ahead and we got 24. I think we're going to need more than that for what we want to do, but let's take a look at what we can do. There we go. Public services. So we have a lot of public... Oh, okay, right. Welfare, that's what we need. So we are going to go state housing. And we are going to do maximum state housing. And... We don't want to get rid of that. Yeah, let's raise this. Increase bus usage. Okay, good. So we are overwhelmingly popular. Crush the opposition. 72% of the vote. 26% non-voters. So this is increasing. Like this is severely decreasing. Because remember, it was at 50%-ish when we were starting the game. So breakdown: socialists were our largest demographic, unsurprisingly. But religious people voted for us in a fair amount. The poor, oh no, sorry, the poor like us the best. Well, that's no surprise. But generally good across the board. Even the capitalists voted for us to some degree. That's just, wow. Okay. Okay. We'll see that change, but look at our indicators here. Health massively increased. Education, crime down 69%. Poverty down 40%. This is unbelievable. I mean, if you could imagine a government going into a power and achieving these things in one term, it would be like, I don't know, it would be like the second coming or something. Won a landslide, electoral success, and there's still a deep recession, but we're doing okay. So we got a big deficit with our state housing implemented. So what we are going to do is, I think we need to raise taxes next. But before we do that, since it's the beginning of our term, let us increase our labor laws. Oh wait, it was 27. We need 27. Oh, that's too bad. So there's something, I'm sure there's something else we could implement. taxes. We need a new tax. A mansion tax? It doesn't generate very much money, though. We need a lot of money. Let's implement bus subsidies. Okay. Ban animal testing. Let's do no change. Okay, credit rating has been downgraded because we do have a large deficit. And now we need to burn some political capital and increase the corporate tax. So let's raise that up to like 30%. Yeah. So that will severely reduce our deficit. We have 17 points left. Can we get rid of... Yeah, we can get rid of gated communities. Okay, goodbye. We don't want you. Okay, GDP is on the rise. In a deep recession. Very good. Okay, so we're implementing bus subsidies. We are getting more money. Our deficit has fallen. Maybe it's time to... Let's see, commuters are 44% of the population. We might want to wait still on increasing the carbon tax, although we could do that at the beginning of our term and hope that by the end of our term that it pans out for us. Yeah, you know, how much money? Okay, this is... So we need to... So it's like, it has like no impact on GDP until we're well up there. So let's go with like, even the motorists... Okay, so let's go with like a 40% petrol tax. We're going to do that next turn, and that will bring in a lot of money. Okay, GDP is healthy in a deep recession. Very good. Deficit is falling, so when we do this, it will... Okay, 30%. That will bring in more money for us. Should put us in surplus, I think. Okay. Right. So we got 14 left. We've done... Oh, we haven't done the labor laws yet, so we'll do that next turn. Internet tracking. No, we're gonna ban that. Okay, unemployment is falling. Very good. GDP is very good. Alright, so the labor laws, let's deal with that. We are going to go pro-union. And we are going to implement new policies. Let's implement a disability benefit. Yeah. Okay, ban same-sex marriage. No, we'll allow same-sex marriage. Okay, one-party state. Very good. So now we can start to move aggressively to achieve our communist future. Support from the religious is on the wane, but support from the trade unionists is on the rise. So I think we are good there. Okay. Public services. Let's do public libraries. Okay, so that's the first maybe public thing we're introducing there. Well, after public housing, of course. And then we've got 19 left. Let's bank it, and we'll do something drastic next term. So we have an egalitarian society. America, an egalitarian society. Imagine that. So, economy. Mandatory microgeneration is good. Banking, see, Federal Works Agency, we don't want that. Recycling could be good. Cap CEO pay multiplier. We'll do that eventually. Low income tax shelter. Okay, let's do this. Or do we want to implement the mansion tax first? Yeah, let's do this, and then we'll offset the tax credit with that. The retired really don't like that, so let's go with like high. How about thereabouts? We do need to make sure that our spy service is maxed out, so that's fine. We need to make sure that these things are very high because it ensures that the capitalists do not assassinate us. Income tax is fine. We implemented mansion tax, and I think we're gonna bank some more political capital. Do not deploy troops. Doesn't matter. High productivity is at an end because we are doing so very well. Right. So we have 46. We can implement something quite drastic now. Don't have enough to nationalize something yet. But we're getting close. Getting close. Taxes. We can implement any tax we like. So let us implement the low income tax shelter. The poor members of society, part-time workers, and generally low-wage jobs provide more income for the worker because low incomes will no longer be taxed. $45 billion is basically offset by our mansion tax. It's fine. Just a simple redistribution of wealth from the wealthy to the poor and the young. And let's implement bus lanes. Or actually, these are probably more fuel efficiency standards are probably more popular. Okay, 32. Done the labor laws. Done the taxes. Okay, I think we need to implement a new welfare program now. let's give some childcare provisions. And let's yeah, what we're gonna want to do is implement. Oh yeah, we need to do some of this stuff. So let's save up for that maybe. Flags on every street corner. That could be positive. Sure, let's do it. It's cheap. And we've achieved a socialist paradise. And I think I will put a cut in the video here. So thank you for watching. Now that we have achieved socialism, it is time for us to move on to achieve communism. So in the next video, we will go on to achieve full public services, free higher education. We will nationalize the entire economy, and we will try to get the state employees rating up to 100%. And then we will, get rid of creationism in schools and that kind of thing. And ensure ethnic minority representation and support and affordances and equality and all that wonderful stuff. So the glorious road to communist America continues in the next episode. Thank you for watching, and I'll have the next one out soon.